Welcome to the Kind of Intentional podcast. Life gets full fast and it's easy to drift from the life you actually want to build. Each episode, we're going to take on one real-life topic, share honest stories, and pull out practical ideas you can actually use. These episodes are going to be short, they're going to be focused, they're going to be intentional because your time matters, and so does the life that you're building. I'm your host, Tom LiCalzi, here with my co-host, Danielle Andrew.
Hello.
Fun fact, Danielle played the trumpet, and I can't hardly play the stereo.
Yeah. Do you know where the volume button is?
I dislike music, and so people always look at me and are weirded out when I tell them that I dislike music, and unfortunately, it's just not how I'm wired. So,
Yeah, that is very unfortunate.
yeah. So, what are we going to talk about today, Danielle?
The hidden cost of being kind of consistent.
Yeah. So, what does that mean to you?
I think I'm just going to have to go to story mode. So, have you ever started a diet
Oh, no.
and been 100% consistent?
Man, that's a tough one right there.
Like, I just feel like that's one that, oh my gosh, how many times have I started? Like, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do it. I'm starting on Monday. And then Monday comes and you're like on this great track and, you know, you're going to the gym, whatever. And that lasts for about a week. And then you're like, oh, I just don't know if I want to go to the gym 4 days a week now. And so then that fades into 2 days and then it just stops altogether.
Yeah. And so we kind of drift away from the goal that we set, right?
Yep.
And so it happens over a little bit of time. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So for a long time, I wanted to just like get physically more in shape, you know? So it was this thought of like, okay, I'm going to do push-ups and I'm going to do sit-ups and I'm going to do these things and I'm going to do a certain amount per day. And the goal was always to do it like, okay, I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day and 100 sit-ups every single day. And so you start there and you do it for, 6 days in a row. And then the seventh day, you're like, I
100?
100. It's not very many. If you really think about it, it's really not that many. Anyway, so I tried that for months. And so, but you'd always get to this day and you're like, today, I deserve a break. I earned a break. And so like, for
You
whatever
earned that
reason,
couch rot.
whatever reason, your body and your mind are like, today is the day of rest.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like there are physical benefits to that. Like you physically feel good. When you eat healthy, you feel good. Your body feels energized, like you don't feel sluggish and tired and weighed down. Like there are these physical symptoms that are attractive that we still ignore.
We would much rather like the ease and the complacency versus the actual physical work of putting in the time and the effort to do it. And so I tried that for probably the better part of 2 years. It was just this constant goal. And I tried Excel sheets to track it to say, hey, here's my streak. Here's how many times I've done it.
That was your problem right there.
Should have used Google Sheet instead of Excel.
You definitely shouldn't have used Excel.
Yeah, I love Excel. Danielle hates it, so no big deal. So one of us is right, one of us is wrong. We'll let the listeners decide.
Yeah, always.
And so tried the Excel sheets, tried everything across the board, and just never were able to do it. And part of it was I was doing it a lot on my own. It was not until I really started to talk to the wife, and Britt and I were like, hey, how are we going to do this? And we kind of found a pathway out of that inconsistency. But that's what happens to all of us. I think it's something that we all deal with, whether or not it's actual physical activity, physical health, but it could also be a work thing. It could be like a learning. I'm going to read books. I'm going to listen to some podcasts. I'm going to, read from the Bible. There's a million different things that we start to identify as our priority. And for whatever reason, we always drift back to our comfort zone, right?
Yeah, because like when you think about it, when something is new, it's super exciting, right? When you decide, like, I'm gonna run a marathon.
Yeah.
You go and you get your running shoes, and you get to buy your running shoes, and you're really excited about that. And then you get your, whatever watch you're going to use to track your miles. Like you're getting all of these things. The buildup is exciting, and then consistency's boring.
Yeah.
So once you start, and you're like, oh wait, I have to do this every day.
Yeah. It's just crazy. And so, yeah, I 100% agree. And so, but there is some beauty in consistency too, right? I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
I think after we kind of start to do it, I think when our mindsets start to shift, where instead of us trying to think about like, oh, I'm going to lose 5 pounds, the goal is to lose 5 pounds and then I'm done with it. That's where inconsistency really develops because it can be, I'm not saying it's always easy to lose 5 pounds or 15 pounds or whatever that target is, but sometimes we sit and we focus so much on the goal that as soon as we reach the goal, we slip back away and say, well, now I don't have to work as hard. I reached my goal. I got it. Now I'm going to actually not take as much time versus saying, like, I am the kind of person that is going to be consistent and intentional and change those habits. So that way it's just part of the daily routine instead of just like this goal that's going to be short run and short lived.
Right. And I like for me, consistency is boring. Absolutely. Like we can fall into that trap. But you think about like it's all about reshifting your mind.
Yeah.
And so think about what like inconsistency does to you. And so for me, like I'm super hard on myself. So if I, say I'm going to do something mentally, like I've, checked that box. I'm going to do this today and then I don't do it. Well, then I feel terrible about myself. Like you didn't succeed today. You didn't do what you needed to do. And so, you know, we can look at it that way. Do we want to be disappointed? Do we want to feel like we're not, you know, meeting expectations or whether it's ours or whatever, or do we want to have consistency? That's
Yeah.
maybe boring at times.
Yeah, and so certainly as we kind of build into this idea and we start to think through this, a couple of things that shifted for me when I moved and got a little further away from the starts and the false starts and everything else. I think one of the things that was a huge mindset shift for me is I started to get up every day. At that time was 5:30. I've moved it back to 4:50. In that idea of like, man, getting up at 5:30 in the morning is so challenging. I would so much more rather just stay in bed and sleep in. I was a perfect person. Like if there was an Olympic sport for hitting the snooze button, I would be Michael Phelps.
Oh, no, 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 sir. I would be Michael Phelps. You can ask Tyler, my husband Tyler, how many times I hit the snooze. He gets so mad at me because it wakes him up every time.
Yeah, so but I would love to hit the snooze button and I would set it for like 20 minutes before I needed to get up. And then I knew how many times I could hit snooze before I did it until I kind of made the realization that there was a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish that I just never had the time for. And getting up before the rush and the busyness of the day would allow me to spend some time in prayer, allow me to spend some time reading the Bible. And I never had time for it before I started waking up at 5:30. And so when I clearly understood the purpose of it and clearly understood the why, it made it a lot easier to get up. But there was this realization that I went through where after several months of being able to do it consistently, I was like, man, I can't wait until I get to sleep in. And I was like, That's such a weird thought because the mindset shift was not that this was something that I was going to stop eventually.
Right.
This was who I wanted to be. And so happy to say now I'm a little over 1,100 days of doing this in a row. So the streak continues. And so at some point in time, I'm almost more anxious now that I'm going to break the streak. So sometimes it's
Can't
like,
can't break our streak. That
can't break our
absolutely
streak. There's
cannot
nothing
happen.
more devastating and just terrifying than
We're too deep, too deep.
too deep. I'm gonna have to write a letter to the YouVersion Bible app and be like, "Please restore my streak. I just
I
missed it
promise.
yesterday.
I promise I
promise."
read my Bible.
It's terrifying to me. You have no idea. People that I talk to, and then we get streaks of like 100 days, and then they miss it by a day because they forgot. There was a guy in my small group. He was like 130 days in a row reading the Bible app and doing the daily refresh, and he forgot. And then by the time he went back inside, he said it was 12:05
Ugh, the
AM.
worst.
And he's like, it reset my 100 and some day. And he's like, I just don't even want to do it anymore. And I was like, well, you just got to get up and you got to start over. And so, but that was what my mind instantly went to is that it does take some time. But until we have this mindset shift of like, hey, this is who we are. We understand our purpose in a much
Mhm.
deeper way to say, like, this isn't something that we're striving for to just do it a specific number of times. It's just this is who we are. We want to continue to keep doing this. And this is just we know the benefits because, really what we really feel there is consistency feels small until it compounds. Until you've
Yeah.
done it 150 times in a row until you've done it for 2 years straight. That consistency starts to shape more than just the patterns. It starts to shape your intentions. It just really starts to shape the way that you think about things.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a balance too between, when something's new, it's right, it's intense, we're excited about it, but there is a level of you go too hard too fast,
Yeah,
right,
for
on
sure.
something a new, something you're excited about, you're just going to burn out. And so, there's that balance of, what is sustainable? How am I going to do this every day?
Yeah, small actions, repeated consistency will always be just this courageous, heroic effort that we put in every once in a while. And so, really, what we want to think through here is the goal is never to become perfect overnight. Like nobody becomes an overnight success for them. It's to be the person that continues to show up. We
Mhm.
continue to come in, not because it's exciting in the moment, but because we know over time we're going to continue to make votes towards the person that we want to be, towards the direction that we want to go, because those are what create the powerful forces to push us and move us to the direction that we want. Intensity can start the change, but the consistency is what always creates it and keeps it.
Wow. Deep thoughts with Tom.
Well, that was a great episode of trying to be kind of consistent. We hope you guys are really enjoying it. We would love for everybody to subscribe. We're going to drop a new episode every Tuesday and work through this together. Have fun.
See ya.